But I mastered their styles like the 5 deadly venom. So all he had to do was get next to a nigga like that, and he could destroy it.
Believe in that, real. We plan to take the same strategy we use with Death Row West, mind over matter, taking all our weaknesses and making it into our strength. That all these people talk about an East Coast, West Coast war, they like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion. We here to bring money and to bring change. They here to cause confusion. All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling off of East and West like this is a game. This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we've been beat these. It's not a game.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I tried to do this video as regular Ego, but now y'all getting EGOVELI because this is frustrating. Now, I was out in the city filming. I'm back at home. I read the news about Triple G and Canelo updates. I told you guys what it was going to be. In fact, I offered before this was a week ago, I put it on my Instagram where it has over 20,000 followers or whatever, and on Facebook. If Canelo fights Triple G next, I will buy 3 shirts. I will double up if he fights him at the full 160 and buy 6 shirts just to hand out, just for free. Just not because I'm made of money, but to give back to boxing. And either I wasn't going to spend any money or I was going to get a great fight, and then I have no problem spending money to give back to the fans. But it doesn't look like I will be spending any money because they just announced that the WBC has granted both fighters, well, not both, really Canelo, but you know what I'm saying, a pass. So he gets to have an interim fight. They both get to have interim fights in the meantime before, and hopefully the boxing world could be put on hiatus and on hold, and hopefully these two guys, Canelo and Triple G, fight in September. Now, this is just, let me read what it says. The World Boxing Council, WBC, with the full cooperation of all interested parties, proudly announces the status of the middleweight division. Upon the joint request of the WBC middleweight champion, Saul Canelo, and interim champion, Gennady Golovkin, and their corresponding promotional companies, Golden Boy and K2 Promotions, the WBC has ruled as set forth below. Both Alvarez and Golovkin shall be entitled to make a voluntary defense of their corresponding championships so as to maximize the interest on their highly anticipated showdown. A 15-day free negotiation period will be ordered on the early of the competition of the voluntary defense or May 31st. If there is no agreement, a purse bid will be conducted, blah, blah, blah. If after their corresponding voluntary defenses, one boxer is unable to fight the other for the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, the unable fighter will lose his status as champion, etc., etc. So, that's the gist of it. In layman's terms, they both can fight. It sounds like Triple G is going to fight somebody else in March, probably like a Toriano Johnson, maybe Andy Lee, Saunders winner. I don't know who Andy Lee, his promotional company, is with, but I think he can go on HBO. He fought Chavez Jr. on HBO. I don't think he's with Heyman or anything. So maybe something like that. Eubanks, I don't know. Somebody. He's going to fight someone probably in March, and Canelo's going to fight somebody else in May. Now, there's a couple problems, and the reason you're getting EGOVELI is because it just makes no sense. One, the fight is a fight that needs to happen. In boxing, you got to strike while the iron's hot. Canelo Triple G is hot now. Canelo just defeated probably the biggest threat of his career, not named Floyd Mayweather, a guy in Miguel Cotto, first round Hall of Famer, who a lot of people were picking to beat Canelo, and then some people picked Canelo to beat Cotto. Either way, he showed up and he beat Cotto, becoming the lineal middleweight champion. Then you have Triple G. They said it was going to be a barn burner. This year's Hagler Hearns, he defeated a strong puncher in David Lemieux in a unification bout and became IBF champion. So why are we waiting to see them fight lesser guys than each other in the meantime? It just makes no sense. Another thing is, this was immediately after the Cotto-Canelo outcome. They were supposed to have a certain period of time, let's say 2 weeks or whatever it was, to negotiate to make this fight. And if not, if they can't come to terms, then Canelo was supposed to lose his belt. You know what I mean? Because that was his mandatory. But they gave him an extension for whatever reason. Oh, we're giving him an extension. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude's getting weaves and extensions and stuff. So he got an extension. All of that waiting, that additional waiting, just to tell the fans that, guess what? The fight's still not happening. Now, again, I have multiple problems with that because one, it's boxing. Anything can happen. Peter Quillen, he was the favorite versus Danny Jacobs, and he got stopped in the first round. Brandon Rios, I don't know if he was the favorite over Timothy Bradley. I think Bradley was the favorite. However, most people didn't anticipate Bradley to stop a guy who's never been stopped in Brandon Rios, who outweighed him 20 pounds. So boxing is fickle. Boxing is crazy like that. So the point being is, why would you let these two guys fight other competition, not knowing how they'll look, even if they win? Let's say Triple G fights Toriano Johnson next, and it's a rough, tough fight. He gets a cut over his eye, and it's a rough fight, and he doesn't look spectacular in it. Then that's supposed to be the fight that's going to amp up a Canelo versus Triple G fight. They're both coming off of great performances for their career. David Lemieux, that was a champion, even though he had no title defenses. Whatever, he had power, right? And he was a champion from a vacant belt. So that was Triple G's last performance, and Canelo's last performance is Cotto. So instead of coming off of these spectacular, you believe that these two people, and trust me, I know how boxing works. I'm not stupid. Look at it like this. If this is the deal, one guy's going to fight in March, one guy's going to fight in May, do you honestly think they're going to be in there tough with the sturdiest competition possible, knowing that a mega fight between the two of them looms for September? It makes no sense. So to me, what that means is they're probably going to both be in matches where they're highly favored to win. You know what I mean? Guys with losses, guys with stoppage. Like, who's Canelo going to fight? Amir Khan, like Oscar De La Hoya said. Check out the video I did on that. But who's he going to fight? Canelo versus Timothy Bradley. You know what I mean? A guy who's a welterweight and a career 140-pounder, just like Amir Khan. Who is he going to fight? Cornelius Bundridge, who got stopped. Carlos Molina, who got stopped, I think, by K9 Bundridge. You know what I'm saying? Like, I struggle, and I will put money on this too. I really doubt, especially for Canelo, I doubt he's going to be in there with somebody in his next fight, his voluntary defense. I really believe it's not going to be a fighter that the public considers like a 50-50 match or a chore, like a Lada rematch or Demetrius Andrade or the better Charlo brother or any Charlo brother or Vanes Matarosen even or Willie Nelson. I really don't think it's going to be a guy like that. You know what I mean? Guys who are big, tall, 6 foot. I don't think it's going to be a true middleweight. You know what I'm saying? And if it is, it's going to be someone like David Lemieux possibly coming off a loss. They'll probably try to put him in there with Gabe Rosado, Clottey winner, especially if Gabe Rosado is the winner. Man, I already see it, man. I just think it's pretty stupid. Same thing with Triple G. Again, boxing is unpredictable. So if one of them doesn't look good or loses in their next fight, then the mega fight's out the window. Because if Toriano Johnson knocked down Triple G, just hypothetically, I don't want to, no, that'll never happen. Toriano Johnson could never do that. I don't want to hear that. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if he looks suspect in the fight with Toriano Johnson or got injured, anything can happen in boxing. And again, the September mega fight is out the window. So again, strike while the iron's hot. That's my philosophy for boxing. You wait, you wait, you wait. And fortunately for Mayweather-Pacquiao, it still got made. Even though Pacquiao got knocked out, he still bounced back with 2 wins and still looked dominant after the knockout. And Mayweather was still undefeated, so it still made a lot of money. But more often than not, those things don't happen. When those fights that were supposed to be made aren't made, then it usually goes out the window, like Juan Manuel Lopez versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. Now, people don't care about that. Gamboa versus Mikey Garcia. Garcia's been inactive for so long. They had an opportunity to make that fight. So why do I want to see Canelo and Triple G stagnate like this and hope that everything turns out well, hope they both win and stuff? Now, let me talk about the Team Triple G side. The thing that makes no sense is you're letting another side take what's rightfully yours. You earned the mandatory spot that you've been pressing. And first, it was Cotto had the belt, and he dicked you around. Cotto was supposed to pay. I don't even know if he got the step-aside money because Cotto said he wasn't paying the money. He said, oh, they're trying to tax me too much. Fuck that. I'd rather, if you could keep 1.4 million in bank account. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was saying something like, I'd rather keep $1 million in my bank account. I'm not paying all these fees and step-aside money and stuff. So, realistically, I don't even know if Gennady Golovkin got paid the step-aside money. And if he did, I don't know if he got paid the full thing because, one, Cotto's no longer lineal middleweight champion. And two, I think he was content just getting stripped to keep the money because he said he wasn't paying all the fees. So that's one error. Triple G stepped aside to let Cotto and Canelo fight. And again, I don't even know if he got paid for it because Cotto was talking about, I'm not paying this, right? You remember the articles? So that's one error. Then they grant this man an extension after Canelo beats Cotto, and we play the waiting game, and they give him an extension, and then we wait just to find out that they're fighting other options sooner. And it just, to me, it's all over the place, and it's stupid because another reason it doesn't make sense is we still don't even know, like, it's not signed on the dotted line. Like, yo, if we both get past our next opponent, we're fighting each other. What weight is it going to be at? Is it going to be at Canelo weight? That's my problem with this. This is like look at Andre Ward versus Kovalev. The HBO multi-fight deal stipulates if Andre Ward stays on the winning track and Kovalev stays on the winning track, then they will meet up in the fall of 2016. That's the deal, right? So we have something to look forward to. All Kovalev has to do is beat Pascal again, which I assume he will. Andre Ward has to beat whoever they put in front of him, and he's been undefeated this long, hasn't lost since he was a teenager. So it looks like all roads lead to Ward versus Kovalev at some point. You know what I mean? They're both undefeated, and no one's been able to beat them so far. So it looks like we'll get that, and there's like a strong inkling that we'll get that fight. With this, we don't really know. Either they're going to cherry pick and match them very lightly to keep them in a fight that they definitely should win, or they're going to be in tough and it's going to make the fight tougher. Like let's say Canelo Lara happened as the voluntary defense. Canelo didn't even look that great in the fight. He did good in spots. Edeslani Lara did good in spots, right? So that's not the type of performance that will build up Canelo Triple G. But Canelo's performance over Cotto would. That was a good performance to me. I don't even understand the controversy. People saying Cotto won and stuff like that. I thought Canelo looked sharp. His defense looked better. So that's the thing. Too many things can go wrong. And Team Triple G has allowed Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy, and Team Canelo's side to flex their muscle. Again, the biggest thing and the reason I brought up Ward Kovalev is because it's pretty much set in stone. We at least have some variables. Ward said he'll move up to light heavyweight, and that's the goal. That's the game plan. So weight is not an issue. All they have to do is stay winning. However, Canelo has been on record saying, I'm not fighting this dude unless it's at Canelo weight of 155. And Golovkin and his team and Abel Sanchez have been on record saying, we're not going to 55 to fight Redhead. Period. You know what I'm saying? So, again, they fight voluntary fights in the interim. And then after that, we still don't know if they're going to fight. And it's just like starting from scratch. They still have to negotiate and decipher what the weight class is going to be. Is it going to be at a catch weight? What's the purse split? You know what I mean? So to me, they didn't really even make any ground because it's going to be like starting at ground zero in September if they're both successful in their voluntary defenses, right? And that makes no sense to me. Why not just get rid of it? Why did you need a week extra extension just to tell us that they're not fighting next? You know what I mean? This is all politics. The WBC, you know what I mean? They're cool with De La Hoya and Golden Boy. It's a Hispanic Mexican family. You know what I mean? They cut Canelo some slack. I don't know what the situation is, but the WBC and all the sanctioning bodies really play favorites. And it's not just against Mexican fighters or whatever, Floyd Mayweather or whoever's popular and keeps dollars in their pocket, then they're going to be more lenient. But if you're not a star, like, you know what I mean? Like Rigondeaux's not a star. That's why you've seen the WBO sanctioning body strip him like it was nothing. Even though he's a skilled fighter, decorated champion, they wanted the belt back on the HBO top rank side. They didn't want Rigondeaux to have it. Oh, you haven't fought a mandatory. And that's the cold part about it, is they pick and choose. Just like casual fans, they pick and choose when they want to apply their rules. Now, rules are rules. I have no problem with rules. I have a problem with inconsistency of enforcing rules. So if you, of course, it's just like it's like a fallback system. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are our rules, but the thing is, we all know they enforce them when they don't. Like, you know what I mean? Don't give me a DUI for drinking and driving and then let other people that you know were drinking and driving and failed a breathalyzer, you let them go. That's not fair. That's not equality. If we all fail a breathalyzer and we were all behind the wheel, we all need to get DUIs, period. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, man, this is really sickening, the picking and choosing. And I think it's a very bad look for Team Golovkin to allow this. Because, again, look at it like this. Let's say Canelo fights Gabe Rosado. Let's say Gabe Rosado beats Clottey and Canelo fights him in May and beats Gabe Rosado, right? He could say, you know what? I don't even need these belts. I'll just keep competing at 155. Fuck a belt. I don't need to negotiate. So you sat up here for virtually half a year. You know what I mean? January, February, March, April, May. That's 5 months, almost half a year. You let half of the year go by waiting on one person and then the outcome of their fight. And what if he just drops the belts? Or what if Canelo says, you know what, like, I can't come to terms. We can't see eye to eye. We can't agree. Oh, well. And then the fight's not made. You know what I'm saying? So to me, there's not enough reassurance for, if I was Team Golovkin, K2 Promotions, Tom Loeffler, there's not enough reassurance, definitely with what they put out to the public, that they're going to get what they want in the end, which is a fight with Canelo. And the thing is, if the belts get vacated, like Triple G's been staying and lingering at the 160 pound division is not as stacked as like welterweight, you know what I mean, in terms of the talent pool. Everyone pretty much acknowledges Triple G as the best middleweight fighter in the division. So the point being, if Canelo waits all the way till May and decides he's going to drop the belts, you waited 5 months just to hear him say, I'm not getting the fight, I'm not dropping the belts, and then the belts will become vacant. Like, again, there's a difference to beat the champion versus to get a vacant belt. So Triple G's been lingering at middleweight because he says he wants to unify. But do you want to unify in that fashion by default and getting a vacant belt because Canelo possibly decides to drop it, or he won't budge with the 155, and you're 35 years old and you're not willing to budge with the going down to 155, so you're just there stuck? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I don't like the game plan. I think both of them are coming off these performances. We don't need to see him fight voluntary. We already know Canelo's been in there with Mayweather. Why do I need to see him fight somebody lesser than Gennady Golovkin, right? Just a random person. Because bottom line is this. I guarantee you, I will put money on this, that whoever Canelo faces next is not as guarded as Triple G. Period. You know what I mean? Like a win streak, undefeated, silver medalist. Same thing with Golovkin. I guarantee you whoever Golovkin fights will not be someone who's considered the caliber of a Canelo. You know what I mean? Big, strong, one loss, wins over guys like Lauren, Angulo, Kirkland, Cotto. You know what I'm saying? So, again, what's the point to see me, or to have me see them fight lesser competition in the meantime? And then, on top of all that, you got idiotic fans who are blaming Floyd Mayweather. Floyd started this. He created this business model. Floyd is a businessman. He don't make suspect business decisions like this. I never seen no Floyd, like, you know what I mean? He's usually the one in the driver's seat. He's not saying, like he's usually the one calling the shots. Like, Canelo, you're coming down to 152 or whatever, and I'm the A side, and, you know what I mean? Pacquiao, we're getting this split. Triple G and his team are doing something totally different. They're just giving in to the A-side demands, but it's in a bad way, because giving into the A-side demands is one thing, but they're giving into the A-side demands to the point where they don't even know if the end result will be the result that they want. They don't even know if they'll get the fight. And then on top of that, even if maybe behind closed doors a fight is negotiated, you still got to worry about Canelo looking suspect or losing his next fight. So it's not much security at all. That's just how I see it. Let me know what you guys think. I knew this was going to happen with Canelo and Triple G, and I knew the fight wouldn't be next. I just had a feeling. I was holding out hope, hoping I was wrong, because I am wrong. I'm not perfect, but I seen this coming. You know what I mean? Golden Boy trying to protect their last little major investment in terms of a superstar in Canelo. And it's pitiful. It's pitiful for the simple fact that I honestly feel that both fighters in their voluntary defenses aren't going to be fighting people who are considered as good or as quality opponents as each other. So why not just jump straight to the Canelo Triple G, trying to milk it, trying to stretch it? It's just, this is retarded. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.